the Rockets can turn it around after what you saw last night?
Yes, I do. I don't believe a team goes from a team I thought was the best in the NBA last year. I stand by that. They had a Game 7 at home. They were missing Chris Paul, one of their two best players, and they're a top-heavy team. And they had the worst shooting performance in the history of sports, basically. 1 for 30 from downtown. They're a heavily three-point reliant team. I get you're not always going to shoot the lights out, but 1 for 30? A lot of them were good looks. Just didn't go down. And they still only lost by single digits. I don't believe to the eventual champs. I don't believe that you go from there to missing the playoffs in 1 year because you lose Luke Mbamute and Trevor Ariza. Like, I thought they were important. I thought they'd be worse. I did not think they'd challenge the Warriors this year as a result of those defensive losses. I thought they missed their window, but they're not going to go from maybe best team in the world to not making the playoffs in 1 year. Now, and now they have Bizdelic back, basically their defensive coordinator, and now Carmelo Anthony's not there, and that's not coincidental. Bizdelic is back, Carmelo's gone, and there's still moves to be made to see if they can acquire some defense. I say all this, Stephen A., with the following caveat. Chris Paul has to be healthy, at least enough to play at an all-star level. I think, look, a hamstring injury, a kind of minor leg injury is one thing, but there have been reports of decline anyway, especially given his age. I don't know what the distant future holds for Chris Paul, but if he can stay on the court, he has enough heart to be an all-star player when they need him to be. And therefore, this Rockets team will not miss the playoffs. They will be one of the better teams in the West by the time this season is done. I can't, my brain could not accept that they would go from best to not in the playoffs in 1 year.
Well, first of all, I appreciate that caveat that you threw out there because that means they're not going to turn it around because you're saying Chris Paul stay healthy. Good luck with that. I don't believe it. I got to believe it when I see it. Obviously, I'm not wishing that about him. I think that from as a miniature guard, he's the best of this generation in terms of being undersized and being a floor orchestrator and a floor general extraordinaire. I just think that he's that gifted. But health is a concern. I think that when Chris Paul is healthy and he's on the court, he's an all-star all the time because I look at his job description, and I think there are very few that do it better than him at that point guard spot. Having said all of that, I think they're compromised defensively. I think they're compromised coaching-wise because when you struggle under Mike D'Antoni, all of a sudden you see him go 6 deep. And that's what he does. And he'll run you into the ground. He did it with Kobe. Last night, you got 6 guys that did it, gave you at least 29 minutes or so. Outside of that, that's pretty much it. You got the starting 5. All of them had over 30 minutes a game. You had Daniel House. He had about 29 minutes. Everybody else had 16 or less, and that was only 2 additional dudes. I don't think that can last. I think they've been compromised defensively. Do they miss the playoffs? No. But I do believe that they will fall considerably off the 65 wins, obviously. I do question whether or not they'll be a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. Yep. And as a result, those are the question marks that have me thinking they will not turn around. They'll be an above-average team that makes the postseason.
Let me ask you this. We know the West is going to be crowded, obviously. But when we're talking turn it around, it makes me think title contender because that's what they were last year. You're not saying that, right?
I don't believe they're a title contender because they captured lightning in a bottle last year, and I thought that was their window. They blew it. I think that's over. But I do think Stephen A. said not a top 3 seed. I don't know about top 3, but you're talking about the top half and bottom half of the conference. I believe they're a top 4 seed. I think the Clippers are a mirage in terms of their record right now. I think the Thunder have been playing extremely, extremely well, and they have talent. But you look at everybody else, and that includes the Lakers. I like the Rockets in the top 4 by the end of the season. And that is, in the Western Conference, if you're a top 4 seed, you're a good team. I think the Rockets are good. So when the question is, are they turning it around? Yes, I think they're turning it around.